Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with a pretty quick video, I hope. I originally said that I was going to do a video every day about my wisdom teeth recovery. Don't think that's really necessary because things don't change all that much one day to the next. But I will tell you how I'm doing here on day 5. Basically, I've kind of figured out the pattern of what's happening. Probably the most significant physical change that you guys can see is the swelling on my lip has gone down a fair amount. It's still pretty damn swelled, but it has decreased from where it was. So there's that. Now, as far as everything else, eating solid foods really doesn't hurt all that much. I do typically eat them without any real issue. Although what can be an issue is because my mouth is still really sensitive. If something has a really hot temperature, that can be problematic, or something has a really cold temperature, that can also be problematic because it kind of feels like, I don't know, because my mouth is just way more sensitive than usual. So it has difficulties with any extremes one way or the other. It can hurt quite a bit. As far as like my jaw and teeth pain goes, when I wake up in the morning, they usually hurt fairly badly. And then I start taking pain pills throughout the day, and that does help some. I'm taking a whole host of drugs right now to help alleviate the pain. And they are helping to a degree. So there's that. And I suspect I will probably be like in my current state for another week and a half, who knows. As significant milestones happen on this front, I'll post an update, but I don't think I'm going to do it every day. So there's all of that. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about my life updates. I'll talk about one negative one. Since this whole thing started, with my wisdom teeth and all that, I've really fallen off the exercise wagon. Because when you're in pain and you're on drugs, your motivation, your quote willpower to exercise is just basically non-existent, right? I did try to exercise once. It was very half-hearted, and I pooped out after maybe 10 or 15 minutes on the exercise bike. I was done. There was no more gas left in the tank, so to speak. So there's that. But I know that once this is over, I'm definitely going to get back on the wagon and more or less be back to normal on that front. So there's that. I have two bigger life changes to talk about a little bit. I'll talk about the less significant one, then I'll talk about the more significant one. The less significant one that's still kind of a big deal is, as you guys may or may not know, depending if you've watched my videos, I've been kind of looking for a job since October of last year. I'm lucky that I have a job, but my current job just isn't exactly what I want to do, blah, 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 blah. So I decided to start looking, roughly a week before Halloween last year. And for pretty much the entire run of the part of 2020 that was left at that point, I applied to, multiple jobs, maybe 30 or 40, something in that time span. And I didn't hear back from one single employer. I didn't even, just nothing, right? It was just silence. So that's how I knew kind of the economy was just in really terrible shape. This month, however, things have started to turn around a little bit. I had an interview for a job and that fell through, but that's okay because I didn't really want the job all that much. It was hardly what I would call a dream job, right? Plus other employers have been reaching out and asking me questions. So that's how I know that things are starting to move in the right direction, economically anyway. I think it's largely due to a couple of factors. I think there's one that was the fact that it's just a new year that usually will spur something, and two, the fact that a vaccine is at least on the horizon, I think is helping out a lot as well. Now, one other thing about just the job hunt, if you guys have been following my channel for, since when I was on doing the coronavirus unemployment videos a long time ago, I talked about a job at a bank, right? And that person told me that the job would not be filled, for all of 2020. So I kept that person's contact information because I'm not a complete idiot, right? And I thought to myself, well, when should I, reach out to this person? I was thinking, well, probably January of, this year. I was like, okay, what's the best time to reach out to her? And I thought, well, probably the last week of January would be the best time to do it. And I was like, okay, what day? It's like probably Tuesday, because on Monday people have their bullshit meetings, be really busy, whatever. So I sent her an email yesterday on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, January 27th, if anyone cares. And I have not heard a response from her yet. So I didn't get a bounce back saying she was out of the office or anything. So I'm assuming, since I haven't heard back, it probably doesn't mean much of anything. I didn't really expect much of a response on it. I totally honestly expected to get back from her, we haven't heard anything about it and we don't know when we're filling it. That was kind of the expected result. So if she doesn't respond, I'm just going to assume it's completely a dead issue. If she doesn't respond by the end of this week, I'm just going to assume I'll never hear from her on it, which is okay. I mean, that's life. These things happen. I'm not going to, harass this poor woman. I'm just going to let it drop, obviously. So there's that. And now the more significant life update that happened to me yesterday, actually. It was this started maybe, I don't know, a week and a half ago, whatever it was. I decided to try to reach out to my dad because it had been 8 years since I had spoken to him. If you want details on what happened, just watch. I don't even know what videos or I talked about it. But basically, my parents split up in 2012. Everything was finalized in 2013. And the last time I saw my dad was 2013. When he came and got some items that he was awarded in a divorce or whatever. And that was pretty much the last time I had seen him, right? We just fell out of contact. Just as a side note, I never had any animosity whatsoever. I never had, bad feelings towards my dad. I was never angry at him. I was never, negative about him really in any way, so to speak. My mother absolutely hates his guts. I don't, because he never did anything to me to make me hate his guts. That just never happened. So, we just fell out of contact, and I just thought to myself, he is my LinkedIn buddy. Plus, I can probably find him on Facebook, right? So I went to Facebook, put his name in. He popped right up, right away. So I sent him a message on Facebook. He never responded because I sent it maybe, a week ago. So I was like, well, maybe he doesn't ever see his Facebook or check his Facebook, because a lot of people have Facebook accounts, but they just never use them. So I was like, well, he is my LinkedIn friend as well. So I sent him a message on LinkedIn, and then he pretty much instantly responded to that. He responded. He's like, hey, it's great to hear from you. And, he gave me his contact info. He gave me his, email address and phone number and stuff. So yesterday, I called him, and we had a pretty long talk, obviously, since it had been 8 years. And essentially he told me, he's like, well, I thought... he's like, well, yeah, he's like, I'm sorry we fell out of touch. And he said, I thought that, you basically just took your mother's side. And yeah, I said, no, Dad. I said, I didn't take either one of your sides. I said, I thought really you both acted very stupidly and self-destructively during the whole process. I don't think you were worse than her or she was worse than you. I said, I think you both made many, many really terrible mistakes. And just as a side note, I had to basically help my mother through the process because she had MS, right? Well, she still does. She's disabled, to a fairly significant degree at this point because of MS. So I kind of had to basically get her through the process, right? Because who else was going to do it, you know? And that's basically what happened with my mom. And just for reference sake, I haven't spoken to my mom since 2018, and I don't intend to ever speak to her again simply because of the toxic way she was and the toxic way she exited. I have no desire to speak to my mother ever again. So that's basically that. But at least I'm now in contact with my dad, which is great. You know, I think me and my dad can probably, just the way we were talking yesterday, I don't think there's really going to be any trouble for us basically to pick up where we left off, right? Because me and my dad never had any conflict, no cross words, nothing of the sort. We were always, there's never any problems really between me and my dad. Me and my mom, though, whole other story. So anyway, that's basically it. I hope you guys got something out of this. You know, we'll see how the rest of this year goes. I got some things in store for this channel that I hope you guys are going to like. There will be some new types of videos going up on this channel. And I hope you guys get a kick out of some of this stuff. Some of it will be music related. Some of it definitely won't be. Because this channel to me is just my personal channel. Yes, I love music, obviously, because of my username. And obviously, I've talked about my hobby a lot. And blah, blah, blah. But that's never been my, that's not my entire life. There's a lot more than just music. And I'm trying to listen to music as much as I can. But anyway, that's it. As always, live long and prosper. Keep on rocking. I'll see you guys in the next one.